Countries in Asia. Part 2. Japan, known as the Land of the Rising Sun, is an island country in East Asia that is nearly parallel to the eastern coast of the Asian continent in the North Pacific Ocean. The archipelago runs from close to Taiwan in the southwest to south of the Russian island of Sakhalin in the north. Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu are the four largest islands in Japan, in order from north to south. China, North Korea, South Korea, the Philippines, Russia, and Taiwan are all maritime neighbors of the nation. Japan has a surface size of 377,915 square kilometers, which makes it somewhat larger than Germany or little smaller than the U.S. state of California. It is made up of 6,000 islands. The population of the nation is steadily declining, while the share of seniors is growing. The national capital and largest city is Tokyo. Jordan, a Hashemite kingdom in the Middle East, is positioned east of Israel and contains the Jordan River. The continents of Asia, Africa, and Europe all converge in this nation. Jordan shares maritime boundaries with Egypt and has international borders with Iraq, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Syria, and a section of the West Bank in the Palestinian territories. The Red Sea's Gulf of Aqaba is bordered by the nearly landlocked nation in the south. The Arabian Desert surrounds Jordan. The country is somewhat smaller than Portugal, or similarly little smaller than the U.S. state of Indiana, with an area of 89,342 square kilometers. The population of Jordan is 9.9 million in 2017, including refugees of the Syrian civil war. The largest and capital city is Amman. Jordan is a Muslim-majority nation. The majority religion there is Sunni Islam, which counts for 92% of the population. The majority of Muslims live in the cities in the south of Jordan. Kazakhstan is a Central Asian country that borders China to the west and the Caspian Sea to the east. It is located south of Russia. Kazakhstan was one of the 15 Soviet republics up until 1991. China, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan are neighboring nations. With a total land area of 2,724,900 square kilometers, Kazakhstan is the biggest landlocked nation in the world. Despite having a coastline on the Caspian Sea, Kazakhstan lacks direct access to the seas. With a population of 17.7 million, as of 2016, the multi-ethnic nation is one of the least inhabited on the planet. On the republic's territory, there are large stretches of deserted land. The capital of Kazakhstan is Astana. Kuwait is a family-run, oil-rich emirate in the Middle East. Kuwait is a country in the Arabian Peninsula that borders the Persian Gulf's westernmost region, Arabian Gulf. Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Iran all have sea borders with Kuwait. The largest islands in Kuwait are Bubiyan, Warba, and Failaka, which are located off the shore of the mainland. The emirate is little smaller than twice the size of Cyprus, or slightly smaller than New Jersey, with a total area of 17,818 square kilometers. There are 4.5 million people living in Kuwait in 2020. Kuwait serves as the emirate's capital. Kuwait is one of 6 member states of the Gulf Cooperation Council and a member state of the League of Arab States. Kyrgyzstan is a country in Central Asia. Tajikistan and Uzbekistan are its borders to the south and west, Tajikistan and China are its borders to the south and northwest, and Kazakhstan is its border to the northwest and north. The majority of Kyrgyzstan's boundaries follow the crests of mountains. The landlocked nation of Kyrgyzstan has a total size of 199,951 square miles kilometer in Central Asia. Bishkek serves as the nation's capital. Laos is a landlocked Southeast Asian country located on the Indo-Chinese peninsula between Thailand and Vietnam, north of Cambodia. Laos also has brief border crossings with China and Myanmar, Burma. Laos was part of French Indochina until it gained independence in 1953, but it was ripped apart for the majority of the following 25 years by civil conflict between the communist Pathet Lao movement and government allies. The Pathet Lao gained ultimate power in 1975, establishing the Lao People's Democratic Country as a communist republic. The country has a land area of 236.800 square kilometers, which is around the size of Romania or slightly larger than the U.S. state of Utah. Laos has a population of 6.5 million people in 2015. Vientiane is the capital and biggest city. The majority of Laotians, 67%, are Buddhists. Lebanon is a Levantine country with a coastline on the eastern Mediterranean Sea. Lebanon shares boundaries with Israel to the south and Syria to the north. In the east, the Anti-Lebanon mountain range forms lengthy parts of the boundary between Lebanon and Syria. The country also has maritime boundaries with Cyprus. One of the smallest countries on the Asian continent, with a geographical area of 10,400 square kilometers, it is around one-third the size of Belgium or one-third the size of Maryland in the United States. Lebanon has a population of 6.1 million people, as of 2019, including about 1.5 million Syrian and Palestinian refugees. Lebanon has been severely impacted by the outflow of Syrians fleeing the war in their own country. Beirut is Lebanon's capital. Malaysia is a Southeast Asian country that was originally known as British Malaya and then as the Federation of Malaya. Malaysia is divided into two geographical zones by the South China Sea. Peninsular Malaysia, or West Malaysia, on the Malay Peninsula is bordered to the north by Thailand and to the south by Singapore. Malaysian Borneo, or East Malaysia, is located in the northern half of the island of Borneo, which is the third biggest island in the world and the largest in the Malay archipelago, Greater Sunda Islands. East Malaysia is bounded by Indonesia and the Sultanate of Brunei. Malaysia borders the Philippines and Vietnam on the sea. The aggregate size of the nation is 329,847 square kilometers, making it somewhat larger than Norway or slightly larger than the U.S. state of New Mexico. Malaysia is home to around 33 million people in 2021. Malaysia's official religion is Islam. Around 60% of the population is Muslim, while the remaining 20% is Buddhist. Maldives, formerly the Republic of the Maldives, is an Indian Ocean coral island chain in southern Asia. The atolls grew on the tops of undersea mountain slopes. The marine borders of the island country are shared with India, Sri Lanka, and the British Indian Ocean Territory, UK. One of the world's most scattered countries is made up of around 1,200 coral islands organized into 26 atolls distributed across an area of 90,000 square kilometers, roughly the size of Portugal or slightly larger than the state of Minnesota in the United States. However, the smallest Asian country has a geographical area of only 298 square kilometers, which is roughly the size of Malta or less than twice the size of Washington, D.C. The Maldives has a population of around 347,000 people in 2015. Male is the capital and biggest city. The predominant religion is Islam, 98.4% Sunni Muslim. Mongolia is a huge, sparsely populated landlocked nation in Eastern Asia located south of Russia, north of China, and east of Kazakhstan. The country is also referred to as the land of the eternal blue sky and the land of the horse. For centuries, different nomadic empires governed the territory that is now Mongolia. Genghis Khan established the Mongol Empire in 1206, and his grandson Kublai Khan invaded China to create the Yuan dynasty. Mongolia is roughly oval in form and has an area of 1,564,100 square kilometers, making it twice the size of Turkey or slightly smaller than Alaska. Mongolia has a population of little more than 3 million inhabitants, 2016, making it one of the world's least densely inhabited countries. The remainder population is made up of ethnic Mongols, 95%, Kazakhs, Turkic peoples, Chinese, and Russians. Ulaanbaatar is the capital and biggest city. Mongolian is the official language, and it is written in both Cyrillic and traditional Mongolian script. Myanmar, often known as Burma and the Golden Land, is a Southeast Asian country. Myanmar has a lengthy coastline that stretches from the Bay of Bengal in the north to the Gulf of Matama and the Andaman Sea in the south. It is bounded to the north and northeast by China, to the east by Laos and Thailand, and to the northwest by Bangladesh and the Indian states of Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram. The country has a land area of 676,578 square kilometers, which is about twice the size of Germany or slightly smaller than the U.S. state of Texas. Myanmar is home to 55 million people, 2021 EST. Yangon is Myanmar's largest city, former capital, and economic center, Rangoon. Burma's new administrative capital since 2005 has been Naypyidaw, a planned metropolis in the country's center. Around 1.3 million people speak Rohingya, the language of the Rohingya people of Rakhine State. According to the United Nations, the Rohingya are one of the world's most persecuted minority. Because of the tyranny and brutality they endure in Myanmar, hundreds of thousands of Rohingya migrated to neighboring Bangladesh in 2017. Nepal is a former Himalayan empire in South Asia. The landlocked, mountainous country is bounded on the west by Uttarakhand, on the south by Uttar Pradesh, on the southeast by Bihar, and on the east by West Bengal and Sikkim. It has a northern boundary with Xizang, China's autonomous province known as Tibet. Nepal has an area of 147,181 square kilometers, which is somewhat greater than 1.5 times the size of Portugal or slightly larger than the state of Arkansas in the United States. Nepal's population is 30.3 million people, 2021. Kathmandu is the biggest city and the national capital. The two most common religions are Hinduism, 81%, and Buddhism, 9%. North Korea is an Eastern Asian country that occupies the northern section of the Korean Peninsula, south of mainland China, between the Sea of Japan in the east, Korea Bay, and the Yellow Sea in the west. North Korea shares a border with China in the north and an 18-kilometer border with Russia in the northeast. North Korea has a land area of 120,538 square kilometers, which is around half the size of the United Kingdom, 242,900 square kilometers, or slightly more than half the size of the United States state of Utah, 219,882 square kilometers. North Korea has a population of 25 million people. As of 2017, the capital and largest city is Pyongyang, and Korean is the official language. Oman is a Middle Eastern sultanate. Oman is located on the Arabian Peninsula's southern edge, bordering the Arabian Sea and the Gulf of Oman. To the north, on the Muzandam Peninsula, it borders the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf. Oman has land borders with Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Yemen, as well as marine borders with Iran and Pakistan. Until 1970, the Arab world's oldest autonomous state was a sultanate known as Muscat and Oman. During the 19th century, the nation was the most powerful state in the region, controlling Zanzibar and other regions. It has had significant ties with Britain since the late 19th century. Oman has a geographical area of 309,500 square kilometers, making it slightly smaller than Poland or almost twice the size of Georgia in the United States. The country has several stunning geographical characteristics. The major cities of Oman are neatly lined up along the shore. The country now has a population of 4.45 million people, as of 2020, with Omanis constituting 61%, 2.7 million. Muscat is the capital and largest city. The majority of Oman's population is Ibadi Muslim.